where all eyes size you up. The Medusa. A hero armed with a sword? A hero with a lantern? And the last one holding a shield.
Ah bah c'était ça.
Whoa. Rah! For Pete's sake, Emily! You scared the pants off me. Don't ever do that again.
Well, keep your nose out of my business then.
Emily, I'm pretty sure I've got Pandora's box, according to Judas, or how to crucify Jesus as part of God's plan. You do realize that the contents of this book could undermine the very foundations of Christianity. Caesar's Lord...
Manor in Maine, hundreds of acres of land in Catalonia, properties in Shanghai. Incredible. Some of these deeds are over 600 years old, and all signed by the hand of Mortimer.
Mortimer, get all this. It's just crazy.
Secret connections, money, or a well-kept family treasure passed on from generation to generation. Who knows?
That would mean some of Mortimer's ancestors lived before Jesus was born.
What is that you found?
A cameo pendant.
Un camé.
What's going on?
Nothing. I already have a work partner. She was meant to meet Sir Home and bring back the details so we could work out who would follow up.
And there was a problem?
She was supposed to return from Mortimer's 1 week ago. The boat turned up at Plymouth, but alas, no trace of my sister. Instead, a sailor passed me a message from home, notifying me of her sudden disappearance. By the way, Louis, now that you are in on the secret, you are obliged to keep it to yourself, or you will pay very dearly.
Louis, we need to talk now. Otherwise it'll be too late.
All right, Elizabeth. How can I help?
Thank you. Come on, follow me. Listen to me, damn it! My days are numbered. I saw her.
Saw who? You saw my mother? When?
Just last night. She tried to hide right away, but I'm sure it was her. Yes. I need something to calm me down.
Thanks, I'd better not.
Listen, if you want me to tell you everything, you have to drink with me, Louis.
With you, but let's go easy on it, okay? I don't know where she gets her rot gut from, but frankly, it's disgusting.
You know, Louis, when I came here, it was in the hope of getting help. I've only just now realized that I've been drawn here into a trap.
Whoa. The alcohol's gone to my head. Alcohol never solves anything. I'm gonna stop now.
You want to know the reason why? Well, you're gonna have to follow me to the bottom of the abyss, Louis. Either drink or get out.
I won't drink.
All right, Louis, then get the hell out of here. Get out!
Monsieur de Richet, I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
Bonjour à tous, ici Siegfried et nous revoici sur le jeu The Council où on va continuer la suite de notre aventure. On avait fini l'épisode 1. Si vous vous souvenez, on s'est réveillé dans notre chambre et Jacques Pérou et Sir Gregory Holmes ont fait irruption dans notre chambre et nous ont accusés du meurtre apparemment d'Elizabeth Adams. Alors qu'on est juste rentré dans sa chambre, on a juste bu un verre et on s'est cassé avant qu'elle nous bourre la gueule avec un alcool, on va dire, fort douteux. Donc on était rentré dans notre chambre et du coup on se réveille et apparemment elle serait morte et on nous accuserait de son meurtre. Donc c'est parti, on va découvrir la suite des péripéties de notre ami Louis Molas de Richet. Allez, on continue, c'est parti.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your
Alors,
mother
est-ce que ça
as
se passe dans sa
quickly as
tête
possible. Without your mother,
Je pense que oui, c'est
hundreds of men of the cloth would have
on dirait un sorte de résumé.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my
De chaque,
sister.
Do you believe your mother
chaque personne
capable
qu'on a
of
rencontrée
torturing
apparemment.
a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
What the
Monsieur
fuck?
de Richet, I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
Elle s'est sacrifiée au nom de Satan. Alors... Ah, je peux en mettre 2? Intéressant. Les autres, ça m'appartient. C'est mes compétences à peu près. Un subterfuge, mais sinon j'ai tout. On est obligé? Non, on n'est pas obligé, je crois. On va les garder. Ok, plus loin dans le jeu, si on a besoin de plus de compétences. Qui est le bureau?
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas,
ils ont des masques
and I
noirs,
wasn't
ces
even here to
gens-là.
welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. But an act of horrific violence occurred during the night. And I do not know if this is linked to the disappearance of Sarah.
What are you getting at? What act of violence?
We found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room. She was brutally murdered, stabbed several times.
Oui, ça, on
I'll
l'avait
get
compris, il
straight
était
to the
assassiné,
point,
mais...
Louis. According to the initial elements at my disposal, you were the last person to see her alive.
Yes, last night we, Do you suspect me?
I want you to tell me everything that happened last night and leave nothing out. Tell me, how did the evening begin?
Je peux pas dire ouais, j'étais avec la duchesse, on a exploré voir un passage secret où vous avez des actes de propriété qui datent de plus de 1000 ans. Après je peux dire j'étais avec la duchesse mais sans forcément dire que...
Duchess Hillsborough and I were returning to our rooms when Elizabeth came up to us. She was in a state of panic and insisted that she needed to speak to me. She said she feared for her life. I took my leave of the Duchess and followed Elizabeth to her room.
Continue.
She insisted we have a drink, without which she refused to confide anything.
What exactly did she want to speak about?
Son enfance avec ma mère... Qu'est-ce qu'on dit? Oui.
She claimed she saw my mother the previous evening on the cliff, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. I will send someone as soon as possible. But
Je sais pas si c'est
do
une
go
bonne
on.
idée de dire, mais bon.
I refused to go on drinking with her. She already seemed drunk and her conversation became confused. So then she ordered me to get out. If only I'd stayed.
Don't blame yourself, Louis. How could you have known? But thank you for this new information.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why is that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Y a-t-il d'autres suspects par moi?
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi. So I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Bon bah go.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified.
Ah
and they
bien
agree.
ça. Par contre, je trouve qu'il m'a accordé sa confiance tellement vite. J'étais suspect de tout le monde, il m'a dit ouais, je te fais confiance. Alors qu'on se connaît à peine. Donc ouais. Ah bon, après ça m'arrange. Ouais. Je ne peux pas, croix de masse. Ah. Oula, vous n'êtes pas suspect, mais je vais vous interroger.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing.
Ouais. Mais pourquoi il a fouillé autour de la chambre, hein?
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman who looked...
Un peu perdu, c'était bien gentil.
But I don't think he got a very
Elle a invoqué Satan dans sa chambre et
Bonaparte
entendait des
Adams?
voix.
But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say, Louis.
Autre chose, monsieur.
But if I were you, my son, I'd talk to Monsieur Peru. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
Pas faux, pas faux. Ce qu'il dit est intéressant. Je prends bonne note de ce qu'il a dit. Ah, un objet. Quel motif occulte de l'eau?
Dante's Purgatory.
Purgatoire de Dante.
Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
J'avoue, la violence de cette phrase. Elixir d'or. Ah, d'accord.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
On va tenter. Ah, c'est Caen, c'est la ville. Non, c'est pas ça. Ça n'est pas la ville de Caen, malheureusement. Sinon, c'est pas A. Arès. Ah, c'est pas un dieu, c'est pas le dieu ça. Non, ça perdait ça apparemment. Ah. Ah, Arès, non, il n'y a pas de... Ah, je l'ai. Non, enfin, Arès, oui, Zeus. Oui, c'était Zeus, mon gars. Oui, la statue, à l'entrée, c'était Zeus. Je savais que ça m'aiderait. Note à la main de Lord Mortimer. Ah, intéressant. Voilà, note à la main de Lord Mortimer. Non, on n'a pas la note à la main. Bon, merde. Ah, pas l'espace. Ouais, je sais pas. Bref. Descendons. Enquêtons sur ce qui s'est passé. Il faut retourner dans sa chambre. Sa chambre, c'est la chambre de Bonaparte. Chambre d'Adams. Ouais, tout droit. Objet. Toujours vérifier des objets, on sait jamais.
Monsieur Johann von Wulner.
Moi, je peux explorer les chambres. On va te mentir. C'est ce qu'il m'a dit, qu'on pouvait explorer toutes les chambres. Ah, c'est Van Vonner.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No,
Ouais,
Nothing
c'est ça, ouais. Ouais, c'est ça.
Lord Mortimer must have informed you of the necessity for everyone to remain in their rooms until further notice.
Certainly, but I'm a guest, not a prisoner. I was looking for a servant, since we don't all, unfortunately, have one at our disposal.
Yeah, right.
I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Ouais, c'est ça. Gros mytho. Que cherchais-tu? Cette table louche, hein? Cette horloge? Pas encore? Ouais, pourquoi? Voilà, renverser, Ah, mais elle est pas mort au milieu du signe satanique en fait. Je pensais qu'elle serait fait ça. Vu qu'on l'avait vu au tout début. Ah ouais, on voit. On a trouvé l'arme du crime.
The blade is short and thin. Well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood. Still fresh.
Elle s'est sacrifiée pour Satan, je sais.
The lower part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand.
Film et menu. Il y a une femme. Peut-être elle qui s'est sacrifiée pour Satan, comme je dis depuis le début.
A bottle of wine.
Est-ce que c'est le même... Un toxique. What? Mais j'ai rien pris, j'ai juste senti le truc. Alors même le sniffer, c'est dangereux.
Last night. Still just as disgusting. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable.
Bah tu l'as bu quand même, hein. Je te rappelle.
Knocked over bottle of wine.
Après, ça m'interdit de savoir ce que c'est. 3, putain. On va d'abord analyser le reste, et si j'ai besoin d'indices supplémentaires.
Poor girl bled to death.
Elle est rouge. Remplie de sang, j'étais
Well, if that footprint has boats for feet, that's at least a size 15.
Du
Where's a
49.
size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe.
49, moi je fais du 46, puis je trouve ça déjà grand, alors du 49. Mais elle a dit des mains fines et menues. Je pense pas que Jacques Pérou ou Washington ont une main fine et menue, ça m'étonnerait. C'est chaud.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. At first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death. Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by.
On lui a cousu une page de
The same
soldat.
kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
Ouais, en fait. Observez les plaies, examiner. Examiner les
Wounds are
plaies.
clean and look like they've been inflicted by a sharp object.
Un
Some of the
couteau, par exemple?
lacerations of damaged vital organs, the heart, the right lung, which is perforated. Most of them weren't given with much force. She might even have survived. But the stab in the heart, though not all that deep, sealed her fate.
Ah, c'est pas même. Ouais, on va tout
It looks as
observer.
if the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle, as if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
On l'a attaqué par surprise. Revenir encore. Le torse, c'est bon. Les
No
mains.
wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol.
C'est gratos, on le sait.
This pinnacle's a trap. The wearers of the pinnacle thought that they were protected from evil by surrounding it inside the different circles of the pinnacle.
Bon, ah, ça
The
va.
marks are bruising around the wrists. It doesn't look like she was tied up or held by force.
Donc, le meurtrier l'aurait pris par surprise, elle a peu le temps de se défendre, qu'elle s'est fait massacrer. D'après ce que je comprends. Hein.
There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
Ah si, donc elle se serait battue finalement. Et le meurtrier n'avait pas eu besoin de la maintenir pour la tuer. D'accord.
People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control. Scars are superficial and were made several years ago. She wasn't trying to take her own life. Scarring, ugh. Scarring isn't very regular, but they're mostly from old cuts.
Le sigillum des... Voilà, le truc là.
She had the Sigillum de Ameth tattooed on her, the symbol of the living God, written in the language of angels, according to believers. It is rare for someone to know about symbols like this at her age, unless her mother was a tutor. Symbol of Masons? What's that doing here?
C'était une franc-maçon. Elle travaillait peut-être pour eux.
Ancient Greek. Let's see what it means. These are sacred chants intended to protect their bearer. But from whom? Or from what?
Il y en a que la tête et les jambes. Peut-être.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck, maybe mutilations.
Mais au niveau du cou, examiner sa bouche.
What a strange smell.
Mais non, il sniffe la bouche. C'est une blague ou Nada répandu à la cour du roi. Ça c'est niveau 1 au pire, donc peut-être dépenser.
breath. It smells of alcohol and of laudanum. People use it to relieve pain.
Son nez.
Shedding blood from the nose.
Observer le nez. Observer son saignement.
There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising.
Traces de contusion, du saigné du nez et enfin les jambes.
Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs.
Regardez les
More
tatouages.
tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body.
Spécial, anisé à cou. Est-ce que j'en prends un autre? Je pense pas qu'il y en ait eu. Ouais. Ah ben logique impossible. Il n'y en a pas. Donc bah, on va regarder ça mais ça
Let's
m'étonnerait.
see.
Je pense pas.
No trace of sexual assault or rape.
Ouais, je m'en doutais bien mais bon. Trace de sang là.
Blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Bah Jacques Perroux, il y a plus qu'il y a une force comme ça. Hein.
Knocked over a bottle of wine.
J'aime bien. Allez, 3 quand même. Hein. Je t'ai utilisé 2 trucs. On va voir si on peut trouver autre chose.
Clock stopped at 3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime.
Voilà, donc elle est morte à 3h.
Honey, I couldn't have
Ah,
hoped for
ça
better.
va m'aider ça. Je regarde. 3h54, l'heure du décès apparemment.
The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
3 quand même, c'est cher. Super cher. Allons voir ce pentagramme. C'est comme ça. Pentagramme.
Pentagram. What the
Pentagramme.
hell's been
Voilà.
going on here?
Examiner le symbole.
Contrary to what most people believe, a pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature. With the point toward the top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil. Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
Ah voilà, on en vient, elle a été sacrifiée pour Satan, ce que je dis depuis le début. Ah, mais j'en démarre pas avec ça. Hein.
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out.
Elle est traduite, de toute façon tu parles latin, le grec ancien, l'espagnol, l'anglais, le français, tu parles tout, voilà.
It looks like a
Traduit,
mixture
hein.
of medieval Latin and Anglo-Norman. It is difficult to make sense of this jerky writing. I can make out some passages, though. He's
Oui.
coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry. What tortured writing.
Quel contenu satanique. Hop, l'autre
A
truc.
novel of the initiation of a young woman into polite society.
Immunisé contre la psychologie. Ah bah tu m'étonnes.
June 11th,
Ça
1790.
c'est ce qu'on avait déjà vu, ça.
August 24th.
C'est tout le truc qu'on avait déjà vu. Un flingue.
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light.
Donc je trouve qui l'a perdu.
A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France.
Ouais, c'est à Jacques Perroux, ça, c'est obligé.
There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded, and well, there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently. Right. I shall have to find its owner.
Jacques Perrou, je suis sûr que c'est lui. Peut-être Napoléon, mais je vois mal Napoléon faire ça.
Piece of fabric. High quality at that.
Ah,
I'd say it's silk.
Qualité.
Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear.
Ouais, ça peut être un indice important.
It's a travel dress. The silk has been lightly waxed to protect it from bad weather. And I know the very woman who came up with the idea, given all the traveling she does. My mother. God help us. Why did she come here in the first place? The material appears to have undergone abnormal wear and tear. She must have been scouring the countryside, and that doesn't look good.
Ah, un truc.
Huh. The talisman that I gave back to Elizabeth. I can't exactly say it brought her good luck.
Ouais. Ouais, il y a des indices. J'ai pas envie d'utiliser tous, mais il me reste combien? Un. Piocher dans mes... Au pire, attends. C'est quoi qui me sert? Un truc gratuit. Un truc gratuit, mais il n'y a plus que 3 déjà. Oh. Toi, tu m'as fait peur, toi.
Has Sir finished with this room?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has Sir finished with this room?
No, I haven't gone over everything yet.
Sir may take his time. When Sir would like to leave, Sir has only to tell me.
My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing to...
Ça, c'est ce qu'on avait déjà vu.
Knocked over bottle of wine.
Allez, on prend, allez. Ça quitte.
You know that smell. It's laudanum. It must have been mixed with the wine directly in the bottle.
On a mis du laudanum dans la bouteille. Ce qu'on a trouvé là, donc. Elle dit que ça servait à quoi déjà? J'ai entendu un truc pour les maux de tête, non? Attends, faut que j'examine le corps. Non, pour c'est un médicament, je crois. Non, je sais plus. Il avait dit un truc, il me semble, en sniffant sa bouche. Non. Par exemple, ça pouvait passer ces cinématiques une fois qu'on les a déjà vues une première fois. On a mis la tête.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture.
Ouais.
She also has old scars around the neck, maybe mutilations.
Sa bouche.
What a strange smell. Laudanum. Certain courtiers use it to get drunk.
Pour
Taken
s'enivrer.
in large quantities, it can
Avec des
provoke
crises de
fits of
délire.
madness.
Ça va être enivré et ça, à haute quantité, t'as des crises du délire. Ah bah tu m'étonnes qu'elle entendait des voix en fait finalement. C'est vous êtes des mélanges chelous.
Has Sir finished with this room?
Moi je pense que oui.
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Fouille de Bonaparte. On peut faire que Bonaparte. On va passer par dans l'autre côté. Pour voir s'il n'y a pas des items encore, etc. Fouille, on fouille. Bon.
President George Washington.
Ah, si on peut quand même les autres. Washington. On va vous dire 2-3 choses. On a trouvé du machin. Pardon. Train de bibliothèque. Talent débloqué. C'est marrant.
A map of Vermont.
Je trouve plein d'objets, mais malheureusement je peux plus les transporter, donc c'est un peu dommage. Ouais.
My dear George, I'd like to invite
Je
you
t'invite à
to
me rejoindre
join
comme
me
prévu chez
as
moi. J'ai un
planned
projet de
at
te soumettre, étant que les États-Unis prennent une place plus importante sur l'échiquier mondial.
It is time that the
Je connais tes
United
assistances à jouer avec le
States
feu,
played
je sais que
more
ton nouveau
important
pays est bien
role
jeune,
in
mais
space.
sois assuré que je ne ferai rien pour mettre en
Understand
place,
your
on peut bâtir
reluctance of playing
ensemble.
with fire.
Mon ami
I
William.
know your new country is very young.
D'accord.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington
Emily.
about trade deals. The English and the Americans are preparing a peace treaty. It would appear that Emily is in secret discussion with Washington about reopening trade between the United States and England.
Intéressant.
If such an arrangement came into being, France would suffer dearly.
Ça c'est moins intéressant. Plus notre chambre, monsieur le président. C'est comme si je n'étais pas là. Je peux pas déverrouiller, j'ai pas compris ce subterfuge.
Portrait of George Washington.
Putain, la différence entre le portrait et le visage, quand même, ça choque un peu. Ah, enfin un truc utile. Allez, monsieur Washington, dites-nous tout.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered.
Interrogé sur le laudanum.
Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum? Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Do you take it regularly, Mr. President?
Unfortunately, I do, Louis. I still suffer from a terrible toothache, and it's not likely to get any better.
It's just for that, then?
Old age, my young friend. I don't wish it upon you, but you'll soon see. At my age, it's rare to have no problems in that domain.
And do you take a lot?
A moderate amount, Louis. Only the dosage indicated on the prescription of my doctor.
Je veux au moins savoir son alibi.
I'm talking to all the guests to find out who has an alibi and, well, who doesn't, Mr. President. Can you tell me what you were doing last night so that I can strike your name off the list?
I spent the night right here, reading.
All night?
Exactly. Emily stopped by in the middle of the night. You can ask her. She wanted to talk about some business we have in common.
Anything whatsoever to do with Elizabeth?
Not at all, Louis. A business matter.
Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue. Greetings, Louis.
Je t'ai pas tout posé comme question, héros.
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Peru, but that case was closed, if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened. And I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry. Countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her.
Yes, Lord Mortimer has a talent for healing, apparently. I'm not surprised Sir Gregory advised her to come.
Agreed.
Voilà, je t'ai tout dit. Allez, on casse.
I shan't keep you any longer, Mr. President.
Feel
Ouais,
free,
on n'a
Louis.
pas pris grand
If there's
chose.
anything I can do,
Je crois
just
que tu l'as fourni
ask.
ça en drogue.
Thank you, Mr.
Quand
President.
on abusait. En drogue. À base, c'est un médicament, mais quand on abuse, ça a des effets secondaires désastreux. Bon. Là, nickel, non? Chandelier. C'est le pape, enfin le pape, l'éminence, on va rentrer. Ça, il me semble que c'est ma chambre. Et une chambre juste à côté. Je peux pas rentrer, très bien. Ça, c'est Émilie. Rentre à frapper. Je sais pas que tu peux rentrer sans frapper chez une dame, mais c'est pas grave.
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess. Tending children at the orphanage in Harlem. I find it a little hard to understand this painting choice. Grammar of Port-Royal. Ah, the artistry of the French language in all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world. At least une partie of it.
Ouais, bah, j'ai pas l'impression.
Dear E, I received
Vous voyez,
your last
maintenant la couronne
letter.
a fait savoir à l'ordre
Unfortunately,
doré
the Crown informed the Golden Order
que la maison ne
that our
devait
mission
en
should
aucun
under
cas
no
gêner les plans de Sir Gregory,
circumstances
décidément
hamper
c'est
Sir
trop pressé à
Gregory's plans.
Buckingham.
Decidedly,
On va tous les deux,
they have
pieds et
support
poings liés,
from
sur
the
une étroite
highest
marche de
level in
manœuvre. Tiens-moi
Buckingham
informé,
Palace.
une mission se
So
complique.
here we
Mais
both are, hands and
la proche
feet
sortie dehors, je ne
tied,
sens pas au
and
courant de la
little
venue de
room to
notre amie
maneuver.
Sarah. Je peux
Keep
donc
me
pas t'en dire
abreast of
plus, mais je
events.
parais
Our mission is
qu'elle soit venue
becoming
pour des
more
raisons
complicated.
personnelles. C'est Emily ou Emma, je pense, une des deux sœurs.
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds, painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting.
De l'extérieur, j'en ai 150.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers.
Ouais, tu m'étonnes.
Madam, thank you for consoling the
Quand
Queen.
t'es reine actuellement, la
The
situation
King's
du roi c'est grave,
situation
j'ai
is
gage que ce
worsening,
dernier
but
sera se relever de
I
cette
wager he'll
épreuve.
recover from this present fit.
La prochaine
Next
fois
time
que
you
je
speak with
l'entendrai
Her
avec Sa
Majesty
Majesté
the
la
Queen,
Reine, aurait-vous
would you
l'extrême
please
obligeance
be
de
so
donner
kind as to ask
accès
her
à ma
to look into
demande
my petition to raise
de lever
taxes
d'impôts
with the
près du
King?
roi. Une nation
I will
sans
personally
partage
see
cette
to it
impasse.
that our nation will
J'ai
recover
mis en
from
poids, mais la
this
situation mentale
impasse.
du roi, George,
But
ralentit le
King
processus.
George's
Merci
mental
pour avance du
situation
fait
is
que vous soyez nous
slowing down our
apporter William
decision
Pitt,
taking.
Premier ministre
Thank you.
de la Grande-Bretagne. Ouais, il a vraiment des hauts soutiens. Vous pouvez informer le roi George du soutien du Saint-Père. Nous vous aiderons à financer la commande de régiments d'immigrés royalistes afin de lutter contre la France. Son éminence Piagui. Ok, donc tout le monde veut se taper la France, c'est génial.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now. Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last
Ça, mon
breath.
fils William.
If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you
Pour
enough
cela,
for
comme
looking
convenu avec la
after him.
Charlotte, notre
You
ami
know the latter's preferences, and
Poirot
you will
remplira ta tâche,
understand
signera
he needs you desperately.
à vous souci
For that,
moi.
and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough,
Bon, désolé, moi je lis vite. Après, si vous voulez lire, vous pouvez mettre en pause la vidéo et vous pouvez lire parfaitement, il n'y a pas de souci.
2 coils circle the lock.
Utilise la clé, je n'ai pas, je n'ai rien.
A letter from
Ah non, mais ça j'ai déjà
William
vu.
Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now.
Oui,
Madam,
j'ai déjà vu. Bonjour.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumours spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times.
Ah, il y a un truc de
No doubt she
psychologie.
suffered greatly.
Je crois qu'elle est faible à ça.
9 times? What monster is capable of
Ah, je vais
such
trop
a
vite.
horrible thing? Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
C'est la page.
Since your arrival, did you notice anything strange about Elizabeth?
Everything that happened around that poor child was strange. You saw that for yourself.
I know. You're right. I'm looking for leads to try to reduce the number of suspects.
Well, I would say that in addition to ourselves, you could also cross off President Washington. I went to see him during the night. I had some business with him, and I can confirm that he didn't leave his room all night.
That gives Washington an alibi. Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her.
Et je te
I feel a
comprends
bit
d'ailleurs.
guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
Ouais, tu m'as dit.
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis for each person. Just so that I can cross you off the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the murder?
Am I given to understand that I'm on the list of suspects?
Don't take it the wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Well, if you absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening, you only had to join me.
Oui, je sais, je
I know,
regrette.
Emily. Especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least. We've found the murder weapon.
What is it?
A dagger, quite slim.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching as it happens. That said, since a blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
The handprint was a very slender hand, Emily. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island. Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Keep up your courage, Louis. I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
If what you say is true, Emily, I'm less and less enthusiastic about shedding any light on the subject. I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. Gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, Do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check with you.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
Thank you.
Are you all right? You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the scene.
Thank you, Emily.
Ou pas. Par contre, hein, tes petites affaires à Washington, hein.
Tell me, Emily, what's the nature of your relationship with Washington?
Oh, come off it, Louis. You're not going to go into a jealous rage, are you?
No, I can assure you of that. That has nothing to do with it. You're preparing a treaty to break the ties between the United States and France.
Whatever are you talking about, Louis?
I read your correspondences, Emily.
It's not what you think. So don't go thinking there's anything personal in it.
Ouais.
Are you trying to break Franco-American agreements, Emily?
That's the job, Louis. We're all doing everything we can to serve the best interests of our nation. It's got nothing to do with you or us.
But why didn't you tell me about it before?
Would you have told me?
Oui, totalement.
I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See
J'ai
you,
repris comme
Louis.
ça. C'est bien. Plan. Du coup, voilà, avec Sakimi. Je n'ai pas grand chose en fait, hein. Ça, c'est ce qu'on a déjà vu. Donc, c'est pas grand chose. Il faut aller voir encore Napoléon Pérou, parce que lui, Pérou, des bottines de 49. Ah, 10. Pièces de collection. Est-ce qu'on voit un Bonaparte? Monsieur Bonaparte.
The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
Alors je te prends un livre, Napoléon, l'immunité contre la politique. J'en ai mal, crâne de mal. C'est à quoi le crâne de mal déjà?
Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success. Why do I get nothing but visions of horror in my room? And he gets victory after victory?
Ah, pourquoi l'agir? Là maintenant je commence à regretter de
The
ne pas avoir
Battle of
d'agilité.
Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur.
Pardon, Napoléon. Fais comme si je n'étais pas là, je fouille un peu ton truc. J'ai plus rien, je suis pauvre. J'ai plus d'énergie, je suis...
My dearest son,
Enfin, je te permets de t'écrire à nouveau afin d'implorer d'agir
the
vite.
situation is rapidly worsening here.
Parce que ça regarde par la aussi Paoli qu'au lieu d'arrêter notre mère patrie, la Corse, vers une guerre ouverte entre la France et l'Angleterre. Les hommes sont partout, nous nous cachons des afin de ne pas rester toujours au même endroit. Je ne serais pas étonné qu'ils s'en prennent à nous très rapidement, depuis mon fils. Tu tiens une contre ta mère qui t'aime, Maria Laetitia Bonaparte.
It's a beautiful weapon. A lovely damask blade.
On a
It's
fait de
marked with
Damas.
the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Immuniser contre tes convictions. C'est un moment.
Bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
La tête à Napoléon, c'est pas? Ça semble évident. Ah, ok. Pièce de collection. J'aimerais bien avoir de...
A fragment of amber.
Ah, ça y est, j'ai mon max est augmenté de 1, mais...
French actor Talma is Nero.
Et j'ai toujours rien du tout, je suis à
The
poil.
last emperor of the Caesar dynasty.
Je suis à poil, j'ai plus de points de défense, j'ai rien. Oh, putain. Mais je... Bon, tu sais quoi, je vais reprendre ton élixir d'or, là. C'est lequel? Voilà. Ça, on enlève ta itération. Hop là, voilà.
Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar by Royer, two great army chiefs.
There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
Ah ah, et tu n'as pas le pistolet dans ton étui? Parce que tu as peut-être oublié de faire scène de crime par hasard?
My dear Napoleon,
Donc, je vous invite à vous joindre à nous en janvier sur mon île afin de participer au rendez-vous montant organisé pour l'occasion.
on my
Dans lequel
island,
je vais
to
discuter de ce
participate
projet
in the
d'un
high
nouvel ordre pour la
society
France.
meeting organized.
J'ai une proposition à vous faire concernant
We shall be able to continue our
nos envies de
discussion
placer nos
about
femmes à la tête de la
our
France.
project for a new
Je vous
order
fais
of
confiance
France.
discret sur le venir à très
I have a
bientôt.
proposition.
Partie, ouais, c'est une notation. Alors, rien, ça fait un peu de idée. Allez, go. Parlons à Monsieur Bonaparte.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
We are both very busy.
Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord
Regrettable.
Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight. So I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No. Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you. Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
On l'a vu rôder vers
Someone
d'Elisabeth.
saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
Were you able to recognize the prowler?
Unfortunately not, no. It was dark, and Lord Mortimer was waiting for me. I was not really paying attention anyway.
Même pas de détail. Ça a bien de détail. Hein, ouais, bon, allez hop. Prends le dernier truc.
Excuse me for insisting, but if you saw him or her, I'm sure you would have more information than that. It's just that you don't think it can be of help to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Was it a woman, for instance? Bearing in mind that all the women here wear whalebone dresses, which is rather noticeable.
A man, I should say. I don't recall seeing the silhouette of a dress.
You see, you saw many things, in fact.
Hang on. Laissez-moi réfléchir.
Laissez-moi
Let me
Enfin, une
see.
phrase française.
A wig? His height? The sound of his footsteps, maybe.
Ah, his height. Oui, somewhat imposing. A tall man,
Ouais,
and
perruque,
straight.
quoi.
As for the rest, I don't know, Monsieur de Richet.
Not to worry. That's already quite a lot.
Ah, bon, Pérou, il faudra
Thank
qu'on
you for
parle. Hein.
everything.
Je pense que le client va me mentir, j'ai pas envie de gaspiller le dernier truc. Après, c'est bien que ça.
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Le pistolet, donc d'accord, il faut le
Well,
pistolet.
have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers.
Bon, Pérou.
Good day.
Donc c'est soit ma mère, soit Pérou. Mais je dis à ma mère parce que... À moins que Émilie m'ait menti, mais pour moi, je vois plus. ma mère, vu que l'arme du crime c'est le couteau. Et que seule une femme s'en est servie. Ah, c'est mon avis perso. Après, peut-être me pourvoir royalement.
What do you want from me, Derichet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
Mais dis donc. Putain. Parce qu'il est faible en psychologie, là, je crois, il me semble. À étiquette. Mais psychologie, je sais pas. Ah putain. J'ai plus rien, je suis à sec, je suis à poil.
A pattern with 4 circles. The Massacre of the Innocents by Rubens. A bit gloomy. Guess my room is not that bad.
Je ne peux pas. Sinon, si nous le reverrons, je suis prisonnier aujourd'hui, piégé par mes propres décisions. Tu dois être protégé. Mon avenir est perdu, mais toi, tu peux encore te sauver. Quelle que soit la rancœur que tu auras contre moi, sache que j'ai vacciné avec un diable que je pensais maîtriser. Je croyais que je connaissais les bons, mais ce que j'ai fait par France est incomparable à ceux d'autres qui sont capables. Aujourd'hui, je ne vois pas d'issue, les mâchoires se referment sur moi. Je t'aime maintenant et à jamais. Intriguant tout ça. Livre. Gazetin de la police
Records of the
secrète.
police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
En effet. Lecture psychologie, voilà. Je suis à poil, Ah, motif à 4 cercles. Je retrouve
Dear
le tableau.
friend, please come and join us.
Ici même, nous avons...
We must meet about the ongoing operations
Bah,
in
vous attendra à
Paris.
Calais et vous
A
conduira à
boat will be
Dover
waiting
en
for you in
Angleterre.
Calais
De là, une
and
caisse
will
viendra
take
au
you
port
to
de
Dover
Calais.
in
Vous ferez
England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of...
D'accord, c'est son invitation. Tu veux. C'est pas ça son coffre à 4 motifs là?
A pattern
Oui,
with 4
ça.
circles.
Enfin, on ouvre un coffre, les amis! C'est pas vrai qu'on ouvre un coffre, non? Ou la deuxième, je savais plus. Oh oui, plein d'objets. Oh, j'adore les objets.
Dear Monsieur Peru,
On est à la fin de
I'm writing
remercier
to
des fonds
thank
que
you for
vous
the
avez envoyés.
funds you sent.
Ça nous a
These
une aide
funds will
cruciale
be
pour la
crucial
de l'Ouest de
for the
l'orphelinat.
renovation of the
Les enfants
western wing of the
que
orphanage.
vous nous avez
The
envoyés
children
pour ta
you
merveille,
sent
le petit Pierre,
are
sera
doing
bientôt
marvelously
marché.
well,
Il y en a encore
and
qui sont
little
d'entre eux
Pierre
faire des
will
cauchemars
soon
d'histoire
be
funeste,
walking.
rencontrer leurs parents à
Some of them
l'échafaud.
still
Et
sometimes
Judas,
suffer
ça,
nightmares
c'est
about their
inquiétant.
parents
Si
on
vous
the
nous
scaffold.
confiez
But
encore,
I expect they will cease
sachez
in
que
due
le baptême de
course.
sont bientôt prêts pour cela.
Should you
Les
decide to
enfants, moi,
send us
nous
more,
n'en jamais assez.
please
Vive la
note
République, vive la France.
that
Sœur
another
Marie-Hélène.
20 space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Pointe de milice. Ah, c'est pour une action gratuite, ça.
All right. Have you finished?
Not
No.
quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Avez-vous tué Elisabeth, hein? Vous aimez frapper les femmes, hein? Oh, je pense pas que ça... Si je dis ça, il va se laisser faire.
I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what happened.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene. Congratulations. You've wrapped up the investigation.
Ok, c'est comme ça, toi.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. You were armed the night of my arrival. Can I see your weapon?
No.
You do realize you're not helping, don't you? You're making it worse for yourself. I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Parle de tes
Who
affaires.
says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
prendre une autre mélisse.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
C'est quoi je vais faire? Allez, tu vois, j'ai bien fait. Au moins. Je suis pas sûr que ça m'aide honnêtement à dire ça, mais... Allez.
2 days ago, I surprised you having a go at Miss Adams. What happened? Did you want to give her another beating? She wouldn't let you push her around again, huh?
Shut up, you little shit! You have no idea what happened, and here you are, carping away. You think you're Investigator of the Year. Have you taken a look at yourself, Deriche?
Didn't you get enough beating her black and blue the last time?
I did not!
Vous n'avez pas quoi, hein? Et dire quoi? 3, mais indisponible, je peux pas, merde.
Go on. Keep going.
Finish what you came to do, then get out of my room.
Goodbye, sir. We shall.
Ouais, on se reverra, mon ami.
Probably.
Ouais, fais pas trop ton malin.
Nice decor for a revolutionary tribunal judge's room. Another painting on the massacre of the innocents?
Ouais. Je dirais que Jacques Perrou a peut-être joué un rôle. Je pense pas que c'est lui qui l'ait tué, Elisabeth, mais je pense qu'il a voulu fouiner et... Je sais pas. En tout cas, on va retourner voir Lord Mortimer, lui dire ce qu'on sait. C'est-à-dire beaucoup de choses, mais beaucoup de questions qu'on n'a pas trouvé, auxquelles on n'a pas su répondre. Peut-être on va s'arrêter là aussi parce que ça fait un petit moment. On va s'arrêter là-dessus. C'est marrant que tu me dis que t'en as rien, toi.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
I believe I've identified the murderer.
Really, Louis? All right then. Please think carefully before you give me your answer. This is a very, very serious accusation.
Elle s'est peut-être tuée elle-même, mais non. Parce que selon l'indique, d'après ce que je me souviens... Ouh, la tête. Oh, le zoom. Si je me souviens bien, on l'a eu par derrière. Selon l'angle, on l'a eu par derrière. Elle s'est défendue. Merde. Ça peut pas être la sœur, puisqu'on a vu une vision comme quoi ma mère a tué la sœur. Ou Emily, enfin une des deux.
From what I've found out, I believe that my mother is the culprit. Even though I find it hard to accept.
Sarah? But why her?
Elizabeth thought that Mother was going to kill her. Difficult to believe in a simple coincidence in light of recent events.
Indeed, it's uncanny. Anything else?
I found out that there was a long history between Elizabeth and my mother. She had been her personal doctor and had tortured her throughout her childhood.
Ah. And so she could have tried to silence Elizabeth so the truth wouldn't get out and damage her reputation. It's possible.
Je pense pas que ça soit le motif du meurtre, pour être honnête. Parce que si elle a voulu la faire taire, je pense qu'elle l'aura fait depuis un moment.
I found a piece of fabric that appears to have belonged to her and proves she was present at the scene of the crime.
Interesting. Anything else?
The
print left on the knife near the body was left by a slender hand, without a doubt the hand of a woman.
And there aren't many female guests. I see. Anything else, Louis?
I found a piece of fabric that appears to have belonged to her and proves she was present at the scene of the crime.
Interesting. Anything else?
I think that there's more than enough evidence here.
Indeed, it's very worrying. Everything seems to indicate that your mother is responsible for Elizabeth's murder. Given the distinguished guests and the political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way.
Now that we've examined the question from all sides, maybe you could explain to me why you asked me here, my lord.
Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Écoutez, on va s'arrêter là. On va reprendre cette conversation un peu plus tard. Mais en tout cas, ouais. En fait, je suis pas sûr que ce soit ma mère, parce que je vois même ma mère faire ça, enfin, la mère de notre héros. Mais là, pour le moment, tout semblait à croire que ce soit elle. Parce qu'Elisabeth a été tuée par des couteaux, il y avait le sang. L'arme n'était pas chargée apparemment, elle était bien entretenue. Donc, je pense qu'il y a Pérou, il a faire quelque chose dans la chambre, mais je sais pas quoi exactement. Mais bref, en tout cas, on va quoi qu'il en soit, on a pris notre décision maintenant, c'est trop tard, faut les assumer. Je sais pas comment ça va se répercuter plus tard, mais dans tous les cas, on va s'arrêter là, on poursuivra cette conversation plus tard. Si on peut, oui, on pourra, je pense. Donc je vous laisse, merci d'avoir suivi cette vidéo avec moi, on prendra la suite de cet épisode un peu plus tard. Dans tous les cas, je vous laisse, je vous fais des bisous et je vous dis à la prochaine pour la suite des aventures de Louis Morat de Richet et sur le jeu The Council. Allez, salut, à la prochaine, bisous.